Well, it's getting nice and cool. Today actually is starting to rain, which is welcome sight considering that we're in a fairly deep drought. But anyway, what I'm going to do today is the Japanese black pine. It seems like a subject that more people like to watch, but for me, it's one of the hardest things to teach. I kind of get it so that I could get it to look right, but somehow it's not easy to explain everything. And I think part has to do with the fact, somewhere I read, there's 64 different techniques to doing a pine. Well, they didn't explain all that. They just said that there was that many techniques, which I think is probably correct. But anyway, what I thought I'd do is go ahead and make a series of these so that hopefully you'll start to figure out exactly what I'm doing, even if I can't explain it to you. I guess one of the first things we should do is just to see what I have before I get started. This is probably good 15 years old, maybe even older than that, but it's had training. There are some fairly obvious things that need to get removed. Right in here, there's a new branch that came out, was much too strong, so I have to kind of cut back and make it about the right proportion for this area. Now, this one is going up, competing with our main line. I'll go ahead and remove that. I'm going to do it slow and easy. Now, pine tend to grow up on top heavier than towards the bottom. So that's why I'm going to address the top first. Okay. Get that one out of there. Get that one. Now, it looks like we're starting to lose the apex. There's a strong one here, but you see it goes up long and very uninteresting. Down here we have this twist and turn. So I'm going to take this big one off and go with this one in the back. See this one here, I think it's a little bit better because this section is shorter. And then do we go with this or do we go with that? Well, for sure, we'll take the center one out because remember we say that almost 99% of the time we take the center candle off. So that's why. Okay, in here it's awfully busy. This crazy thing that goes up, I could take that off. Some more that doing the same thing, so take that off. So we go with what's really obvious first, and then we'll fine tune it. Oh, I see a major flaw in here. Hard angle, but there's some bad lines in here, so I have to figure out how that's going to work. This area has got some problems, but I think they're easily solved, hopefully. And remember, we always talk about the pine being a top grower. So it's okay to have this bottom part a little bit thicker than you would because the top grows faster. But some of these are crisscrossing and little things like that. So that's what I have to address right now. You see this right here? I had to take a big branch off. I guess that's why the big scar. But I need a branch right here. And a chance of pines, especially when they're mature like this, backbudding is slim to none. That's why I think I was saving this, trying to do something. I'm not sure what would look logical, but I'm trying to get some green here. Well, you know, it starts out really good with the root flare and it goes up. And then we got this funky things that's kind of covering up that scar. And I'm not sure whether that would work or not. I might have to do a major restyle to compensate for that. Okay, I'm gonna call it quits for today. Am I happy with this? Not especially, but I do have the basics, the root flare, movement, and taper. A couple things that I'm considering, major restyle, and maybe even change. One fairly radical change would be to change the apex, cut it off here, go that way. I'm unhappy with this. I think when I cut this, I was hoping that this would send out new shoots here, but these were too old, so there was no back budding. So I'm kind of unhappy with that. And then this seems still a little on the long side. So anyway, but I'm not going to do all that today. So especially on these pines, the solution is long term. So this is what, less than 20 years old. Maybe about the time it hits 20 years, there'll be another look to it. So anyway, I'm going to stop here for now and say goodbye, and hopefully you're getting something out of these, because like I've been saying, these are really difficult to teach. Also, every person have a different approach. One of my buddies from Southern California, Glenn, he does it differently. And then evidently from the story I heard from him, they had this little get together in Southern California where all these local professionals got together to exchange ideas. Evidently almost got to a brawl because everybody had a different technique and they claimed theirs is the best. And I'm just saying this is the way I've been doing it. And if you want to follow the way I'm doing it, that's fine. If you find some other way to do it, that's fine too. Because I noticed that even in Japan, they had different techniques based on the region. So anyway, this has been the black pine, the most difficult thing to teach. So I'll be doing a bunch more, and hopefully you'll start to pick up bits and pieces and actually learn something. So this is Hiro saying goodbye. I'll see you again in another chapter.